Now students, we will learn the use of must. Now must can be used in three situations. One is compulsion, one is strong obligation, which also means duty, and the third one is probability. Now, the words compulsion, strong obligation, probability seems to be very strong and hard words, but in reality they are not as that difficult to understand. They are very easy. Should is used in case of advice. So you have studied use of should, and should is used in case of advice. But must is not used for advice. Must you cannot use for advice. It doesn't give advice, but it is used when the work has to be done. It, like should, gives you option. Say for instance, I tell you this work should be done. Now when I say it should be done, that means I am giving you an option that, well, the work can be done. That means if you wish, you can do. If you don't wish, you don't do. Now my feeling I am expressing, and it's up to you whether you will accept it or you will reject it. But in case of must, there is no option. That means it has to be done. There is no other way to it. So we can say that must is not used for advice. It does not give advice, but it is used when the work has to be done. When advice is given to a person, he has a chance of accepting or rejecting the advice. But in must, the work or the thing has to be done without any option. I think it's clear now with you where to use must. So the important thing is that in must there is no option. Now let's go for the statement number 1 or example number 1. It says he must apologize for his mistake. Here the word must gives no other option than to apologize. That means you have made a mistake and that mistake cannot be corrected. The only way you can correct it by apologizing to the people for the mistake you have committed. It means that the mistake is so big that it leaves no other alternative but to apologize. If we use, now take a second instance, if we use should, it is also correct. Say I use, in place of must I use should, that he should apologize for his mistake. Now if I say he should apologize for his mistake, it is also correct, but it gives a chance, it gives the option. That is, the person can accept it or he can reject it. Here the speaker only tells about his views and leaves an option for the other person. Let's go to the next statement or next example where it says his mother is not well, he must take care of her. The sentence says that it is the person's duty to look after the mother. So we use here must. But it is his compulsion or his strong obligation that he has to look after his mother. So it is a compulsion, it is an obligation for the person to look after his mother, and as it is a compulsion and a strong obligation, he has to use must, or we must use must. There is no other option to this work, that is looking after the mother. Must be used over there. This is a strong advice, that is compulsory, leaving no options. Next statement. A teacher must teach his students about etiquette. The word must is used because it is the teacher's responsibility, it is the teacher's duty, it is the teacher's compulsion, it is the teacher's obligation to teach the students about good etiquette. So all the first three sentences are all based on strong obligations or compulsions, leaving no options behind. Now we come to the next two statements. And these two statements we will be dealing with probability. He must be there. It is the person's responsibility to be there, or he needs to be present there. This is one probability. And second probability of the statement is, it can also mean that he is there. So there are two probability of the statement, that it is his responsibility and he needs to be there, or it can be he is simply there. So there's a probability. Here we see probability of the person's presence in a place. It is same as compulsion. I gave this option so that it becomes easy to understand that in these type of sentences we must use the word must. And let's come to the last statement, and the last statement says that your phone is switched off, your mother must be worried about it. It says that it's your mother is worried about your well-being. It also means that your mother will be worried about your well-being. So there are two cases, that one, your mother is worried, or your mother will be worried because your phone is switched off. In such a case also we use must. So a note, and the note states that should is less powerful. It has options. Must is more powerful. It does not have any options. We'll be learning the last topic, and the topic is use of would. Now would is used in four conditions. The number one is polite request or offer. Number two is past habit. Number three is unreal situation. And number four is indirect speech. We all know that would is the past tense of will. Would is used for polite request or offer. Now, when I talk of polite request or offer, we have heard the same thing, and we have heard the same condition in could. It also had polite request. But when would is applied in case of polite request, you also tend to have a sense of desire. So the difference between could and would is that would have a sense of desire in the sentence, but it is not in the case of could. When we use would, we will express our desire, or we will ask the desire of the other person. So the important thing is that when we use would, we will ask, either we will try to express our own desire, or we will try to understand the desire of the other person. So let us understand these by some sentences. Sentence number 1. Would you like to have a cup of tea? So the sentence asks, will you have tea? It is also trying to understand your desire of having tea. Now, if I remove would and add will in its place, the sentence becomes future indefinite interrogative. But it will not have that desire effect in the sentence. But would tell us the desire, and that desire will be asked with politeness. This is important, that asking desire with politeness. So when we are asking something with politeness, we use would. Next, let's come to the next sentence. Would you like to play cricket? The sentence tries to understand your desire to play cricket. So again, here we are trying to understand your desire to play. And play what? Play cricket. So again, there is a politeness and there is a desire. So we will add would. Now come to sentence number 3. What would you like to have in breakfast? It's a question. What would you like to have in breakfast? Again, we could have used will, but to understand the desire, we added would. What will you like to have breakfast? Same thing. But when I add would, there is a sense of desire, offer. There is a sense of offer, sense of polite offer. So would is added. Sentence number 4. I would like to say something. So in this sentence, it can be also found by adding will or shall, but that will not solve the problem of knowing the desire. Hence, we added would. Now we have a second condition, past habit. Now when I talk of past habit, we have some cases. Maybe that one had a habit in the past and used to practice the habit regularly, or it was a type of repeat action in the past, and when that repeat action of the past is being said in the present time, we say that it is past habit, and we use would in those type of sentence. Let us see the sentence. Sentence number 5. When I was a child, I would play hide and seek. So when I say about this sentence, the speaker is talking about a habit, and the habit is of past. He is talking of a habit of past, and that's why we use would. Now there's a note that I will give you in this, that in place of habit, when we have a habit type of a thing in a sentence, we can also use the word used to. Used to is also used to say about something about habit, but there is an exception. And what is the exception? That used to can be used in place of would, but would cannot be used in place of used to. When I was a child, I used to play hide and seek. Okay, in place of would, I can use used to, but in place of used to, I cannot use would. Number 6. In my childhood, I would drink milk. Again, a repeat action, and that's why we used would. Then we come to some unreal situations. Unreal situation, that means the situation which is imaginative, which actually does not exist. Say for instance that we would go to Japan, but we are busy. No. We would go to Japan. We did not go to Japan. Why we did not go? We were busy. For what and how we are busy? It's not been said. It's imaginative. So, would. Next, I am in trouble, but you would not understand. You are saying, I am in trouble, but you would not understand. You are not stating clearly that why wouldn't I understand? Because you did not say what was your problem, what trouble you had. So when there is something unreal, means which is not clear situation, we use would. If I won lottery, I would travel around the world. Neither you have won lottery nor you have traveled the world. It's an unreal situation. The sentence starts with if. If. So it's an unreal situation, and hence would will be used. And the last one, indirect speech. In indirect speech, when we transform direct to indirect, will changes to would. She said that she would bring me a smartphone. This is an indirect speech. So when it is an indirect speech, we use would. So I think you have understood the modal verbs, and this will help you to understand. If you have followed what has been discussed, it will be very easy for you to understand modal verbs. So please try to follow whatever is been discussed in these videos. Thank you.